Commanders Crosstalk renewed for another season. My guy Awad right here, MP on the mic. 910 The Fan, 105.1 FM is going to be your home for the Commanders in Richmond all season long. The off-season wait is over. Adam, how excited are you for week one?
I can't wait to see number 17 out there, Terry McLaurin, and turns out that wasn't really a big story. He ends up back with the team, and I really do think that it worked out where he's going to have the time to be up to full speed, right? I mean, they got him back to practice about a week ago, right? And so he's gotten the time to catch passes from Jayden Daniels. But my big takeaway for week one is they're going to force feed Deebo Samuel the ball to see the new weapon they got.
Well, he's so dynamic. You know, he can take the ball in space. He can do the jet sweep. He can do the touch pass. Everything he does makes the defense account for one more thing. Every single move Deebo Samuel has, whether that's a short catch or a run, is one more thing. He's another running back out there, right? And we mentioned it all off season long. Okay, they're releasing Brian Robinson Jr., but they add arguably a better running back in Deebo Samuel as well. As you look across this offensive roster, any concerns entering week one?
Yeah, I mean, it is the new spots in the offensive line with the depth chart being released yesterday. We saw Nick Allegretti move to right guard. That's going to be a fill-in spot until Sam Cosby gets back. I kind of thought it would be Andrew Wiley, so that's interesting right there. You've got Coleman going over to left guard after playing all of last season at left tackle, and then Josh Connerly, your rookie, getting the start at right tackle. And I read an article today about how this wasn't an easy transition for him, but they worked all off season to try to make it work, and it has.
And there's a big difference between playing the left side and the right side. That's why you don't see a ton of true swing tackles. Cornelius Lucas, the last one I can think of, who's a true swing tackle in Washington, able to play both sides. That's a skill. You remember there's all that, like, move Trent Williams to guard for a little while. Everybody's always got ways to rearrange the offensive line. Those guys specialize, and those guys work and drill on those spots. Tyler Biadasz back remains essential personnel on the line as well. Let's move to this defense, which underachieved last year, particularly against the run. New York Giants coming in. This is not a ferocious rushing attack, but they're going to test these guys. What do you expect to see against the run defensively?
I'm hoping that they're going to be able to slow them down. I still expect the Giants to, run for 75, 80 yards in this game, maybe even get to 100.
I would take that, yeah.
Because they're going to attempt to run it a ton and then try to play action off of that. We'll see the new additions. Javon Kinlaw and Dietrich Wise are the two guys that I would point to in terms of stopping the run. Those are the guys that stood out to me in that category, stopping the run during training camp and in the preseason. And then when we get to third and long, what do we see from Von Miller? What do we see from Frankie Louvu, Dorrance Armstrong, or Jacob Miller? We don't know who's going to be this team's leader, at the top of Sack Mountain this year for the Commanders. I would predict that Von Miller is going to get quite a few sacks if he gets the opportunity. We just really don't know what his snap count's going to be.
And Bobby Wagner snap count, too. How much Bobby Wagner do you want, especially early in the season?
I want a lot of it. I do. I expect Frankie Louvu to lead this team in tackles this year, take a big step forward. Yeah. But in terms of being on the field, I think Bobby Wagner is almost a 99% kind of guy.
He's a coach out there. I thought he faded at times last year. Would love to see him maybe in that 60 to 70% range where he's taking a series off, letting some of these young guys come in. But it depends how close these games are. And they played some blowouts last year, but the game against the Giants at FedEx was not one of them last year. Now welcome him to Northwest Stadium this weekend. Russell Wilson debut. They've got some strong receivers. What scares you on this Giants offense?
I mean, it's going to be both teams' ability to get after the quarterback, right? So we started with our offensive line against Thibodeau, against Carter, against Burns, right? Well, how about their offensive line against our guys that are going to rush the quarterback? I think this game could come down to, and we saw this a lot last year, who gets more sacks? Who gets the game-changing sack that takes a 2nd and 2 into a 3rd and 10, then all of a sudden you're off the field? It's going to be the little things because I think this is going to be a battle. Last year, Washington, week 2, went down the field and won it with a field goal, 7 field goals to beat the Giants.
Yep.
And then later in the season, it was a close ball game, a back-and-forth game that the Giants could have stole. And you think back to Malik Neighbors, he's not dropping it on 4th down again this year. So I think it's going to be a battle. I like our quarterback if it comes down to the final drive because Jayden has been so clutch. And I do think he is going to run a lot. I think it's going to be 10-plus carries from Jayden Daniels. And if it's close in the 4th quarter, he might get to like 17.
That's a weapon right there. You bring in Jayden Daniels. You say, we need this 4th down. We need this 3rd down. He always delivers for you, and we're expecting the same this year. You and I chatted a couple weeks ago. We're both very confident this game's a win, that this game will be a win for the Commanders. Any nerves now as we approach game week?
Oh, I'm very nervous. Like I said, I think this could be a 3-point victory. It could be a field goal at the buzzer where we were down by 1 and then we win by 2. I'm going to be biting my fingernails. Football season's back, and that's what happens when you support the Commanders. So I think it's going to be close based off of the history of these two teams. Heck, they beat us with Tommy DeVito. They beat us with Tyrod Taylor. Now they get Richmond's Russell Wilson, who beat us last year. I hope our defense wants revenge for that. Too bad Benjamin St. Juste isn't here to give up a deep touchdown. But thank goodness he's not here. But yeah, it's going to be a battle. And I think it will come down to we have got to get Russell Wilson off of his spot. Cannot let him sit back there and pick you off and get an opportunity to go downfield because that's his best threat is that deep downfield.
And he's got the receivers to do it too this year. I circle the secondary as being one of the most important aspects of this game. Getting Marshawn Lattimore off to a good start, making sure somebody can get in his head right away. That was one of my keys in the preseason game. He executed well. It was a good start to that preseason game. I loved what Cliff Kingsbury did in that preseason game. I hope he draws up some winners, gets them a big lead. But you're also looking at breaking in a rookie corner in the NFL in a really big spot.
Yeah, and that's why I really want to be able to play with a lead in this game. One thing Jayden might have struggled with last year, and we talked about this, the first 15 plays. It's scripted. Cliff Kingsbury's great at that. Why didn't they have more success last year? Hopefully in year 2, they can, really develop the offense to the point where, hey, the first 15 plays, they're scripted, and we're having success, right? They were so good end of half, end of game. How about beginning of game this season?
Yeah, and so much of that was he was seeing new blitzes and stuff he had never seen. You hope with the full off season, he's a little more ready for everything the league's going to throw at him. AWOD joins me, Commanders Crosstalk, as we get ready for the opener. Commanders Giants, year 2, Jayden Daniels on tap. It's incredibly exciting to have. I think the consensus 5th best quarterback in football right now. He's knocking on the door of that top 4. Can he get there this year?
I hope so. And I will tell you, I think the excitement will play a part in this game because this should be a home field advantage for the first time
sold out
in maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
Not just sold out, but like everybody I know is telling me they're going to this game. And none of them are Giants fans. Right? So I'm expecting there to be a lot of burgundy and gold, for it to be loud and exciting, and the crowd could play a factor in this game here, especially, if it's close late.
All right, give me a couple of keys to victory here for the Commanders.
Oh, you got to wait till Friday for the keys to victory. But I'll tell you right now, we're going to need to make every field goal. We made 7 last year to beat the Giants. Matt Gay can't miss a field goal for us to win this game.
Yeah, any nerves coming off of that preseason? I thought they'd made a big upgrade there. They put a lot of money into the position, and then it sure didn't look that way in the preseason.
I haven't lost my confidence in him, but it's not like I gained any confidence.
Very well put. AWOD Radio, noon to 3 every day on The Fan, the most Commanders talk in town. Excited to break this one down with you next week.
Absolutely. And Dan Quinn will speak to the media today at 12:30.
Dan Quinn today at 12:30. AWOD's got it all for you. And then we'll be live in Lambeau next week at this time, which I'm very excited about as well. Your first trip to Lambeau.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a treat. My 4th trip to Lambeau. It does not get old. Excited to share that with y'all. We're back with more after this. You're listening to Richmond's home of the Washington Commanders. This is 910 The Fan, now 105.1 FM.